Hi everyone, welcome back to Saucy Rebel. I'm Andy and I am your Saucy Rebel. Today we're going to do a couple of different sauces. I have a fun little dinner gathering tomorrow night, so I will be shooting a roadshow episode, but I am pre-making our dessert and I'm pre-making a cake, which will be coming to you in a later episode, which is a flourless chocolate cake with bourbon. However, I'm also pre-making our sauces, and these are pretty simple recipes that I felt like I should share with you separately. The first sauce we're going to be making today is a caramel sauce, and the second one is a raspberry sauce. And these really take very little time at home, just a little bit of practice. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with our caramel sauce. Sorry, it's freezing here today, and my throat is just giving me all kinds of problems, so if I cough, sorry. Anyway, our first things we need, half a cup of sugar, and it's actually already in my pot here, getting warm. This is good old-fashioned granulated sugar, right? And then you need a pinch of sea salt or Himalayan pink sea salt, which I personally like to use. This is a quarter cup of heavy cream that has come to room temperature, and this is 3 tablespoons of whole butter. You can use salted or unsalted butter. All these recipes will be going up on my Facebook page, so if you see this recipe and really want to try it but don't have a chance to write things down, you can always go to the Saucy Rebel on Facebook and the recipes will be there. And as we get this, what you're going to start to see, I've got this over medium-high heat, and this is just sugar, but you see how it's starting to look kind of thick granulated where it's been touching the heat? Basically what we're going to do is we're going to liquefy our sugar. Which is a process, and it's not an instant one. It takes some time. You don't have to move it constantly. You can kind of let it sit, but it does take some practice. So once again, we are using my favorite tool, the flat whisk. Flat whisk is great because it really does help the process move along, especially in the corners of the pan. This is once again my trusty saute pan that is my all-clad that I use for about everything. It's kind of scary, actually. And we're going to get the sugar nice and liquefied. And while that happens, I'll go ahead and tell you that caramel is one of those things my husband adores. He would much rather have caramel than chocolate any day of the week. And so being able to at home make a caramel sauce, quick and easy, you can put it on ice cream, you can put it on any kind of cake you want. You can throw it on toast. There's all kinds of lovely applications. Anyway, as you can see, we're starting to get some lumpiness to the sugar. This is totally normal. This is actually exactly what you want. So the sugar will actually lump up and kind of look weird and crystallize long before it liquefies. So you kind of want to keep an eye on this closely when you get to this point. See how this is liquefying at the bottom? That means you're on the right track. Now, this is not over high heat. This is over medium-high heat. And particularly in a pan like this, you have to be very careful or you will scorch your sugar. But what you want to do is liquefy this sugar down. And it's coming. So y'all just bear with me and my sauciness here as we work the sugar. You know, a lot of people when they do caramel, they're like, oh, you have to get to exactly 350 degrees or exactly 340 degrees. I'll be honest with you, for this kind of a process, I do not use any kind of thermometer. Anyway, as we go along, we're just going to keep this moving. Now, all caramel really is brown sugar. I'm not kidding you. And I don't mean brown sugar like you buy from the store. I mean browned as in cooked. And that caramelization process is what gives it its unique flavor. So we have to get our sugar liquid and then cook it so that it turns that lovely amber shade. Anyway, moving along here. Part of what I want to show you guys, though, is that it's not always glamorous. It doesn't always look pretty when you're in the middle of making it. It kind of looks gross at this stage. Some kind of wrong pecan brittle-y thing happening. But no, this is just sugar liquefying. And it's such a cold day here. I'm actually having a hard time. If you want to, can you catch the side of this? See how this is actually hardened up? That's actually hardened sugar. And because it's so cold here, and I'm on a little flame right now. I probably should use the bigger one. Essentially, it's not liquefying evenly, and it's literally crystallizing as quickly as it's forming. And that just takes a little time to work out. Get the stuff off my whisk. Oh, for the record, if you ever need to clean candy off of anything, your trick is hot water. Plain hot water. No soap, no scrubbing, no nothing. Hot water. It will liquefy your sugar, and off it comes. Trust me, I made marshmallows recently. My entire stove was covered in marshmallow. And I literally just soaked a towel in hot water and put it on there like a compress. Okay, you see how this is now turning brown? It's completely liquefied. And it's not white, it's a brown color. You can start to smell it cook. When you get here, this is really hard to make caramel on a very cold day, but you want to take it off the heat. You want to get it kind of this nice mid-color of caramel. If you go any more, it's going to start to burn, right? So we're going to take it off the heat. We're going to go backwards. Okay, I'm going to turn this heat off real quick. And to this, it's going to bubble when you do this. This is 3 tablespoons of whole butter. And it just goes straight in. See how it starts to cook? There you go. And you're just going to stir this in. The colder the butter, the more it bubbles. Just FYI. It's better to have it closer to room temperature so you don't make a mess. And you're starting to see candy form, right? Awesome. We're going to add a pinch of this Himalayan sea salt. And stir, stir, stir. And get this butter all nicely incorporated. And this is still quite hot. It is not lumped up yet. See how pretty that is? Now, this is just caramel. How do you make it a sauce? Well, you add heavy cream. That is how you do it. So this goes in. I can grab a hold of it. And we go with the heavy cream. And we're going to stir that. We're still cooking a little bit. See, we're splitting. That's pretty normal. Sploosh, sploosh. Burny spot. Now, I will tell you this. Before this cools, you have to determine if this is how thick you want it or not. See how it's sticking? Really typical. Put it back over this warm burner that is off. Try to even it out some. And this is going to tell you a lot. Still cooking. I want this caramel sauce relatively pourable. Now, see how thin it is right now? It's because it's hot. When this thickens, it will double in its thickness, right? I want this going to be a little bit thinner because it's going to pour for a cake. I'm going to go back here for a second. So, that's probably another tablespoon or 2. Yikes. Told you we'd be messy around here. And just stir that on in. And see how it's just a little bit thinner? Now, normally, when it's this hot, I will pour it into whatever I'm going to use to decorate. But for the purposes of this show, we can't do that. So I'm just going to let it rest, and we'll look at it at the end of the show as well to kind of show you how it's thickened. But that's how you make a caramel sauce. Yes, it really is that simple. It does not take long at all. And in about 5 minutes, you have fresh caramel sauce. Really, the catch with this one is keeping it moving, keeping an eye on it, knowing when it's brown. So, and of course, if you guys have any questions at all about how I make any of these, where I get my recipes from, this is adapted from 3 or 4 different people I saw online doing different versions. I played with it. This is kind of what I came out with. The next recipe I'm doing is actually adapted from Martha Stewart. And I, am always happy to answer people's questions.